Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. Welcome to this episode of the Growth Hike podcast. Today we are talking video marketing and I have a very special guest here with me. He's an expert in video marketing, video production, with experience working with companies like Netflix, Amazon Prime, HBO, and others. He's running a successful video marketing agency in London, and he's here to share his knowledge with us. Welcome, John.
Thank you so much for having me, mate. You made me look much more special than I really am, but I'm looking forward to this one.
You are special. I've been following you, and you always have things to share, which are exciting and fascinating things regarding video marketing. Can we start with hearing a bit about your background and how did you decide to work in video marketing and why?
Yes, of course. I've told that story many times, so I'm confident with it. So I'm from Greece originally, although I moved to London 3 years ago, and since then I live here. My background is not on what I'm pursuing today. I'm an engineer by education, but I never became one by profession. I did it just because I had good grades. I didn't know what I want to do with my life at that point. My father and my brother did the same thing, so I was like, why not? For now, and then we figured it out. And along the way, I actually figured it out. I started playing with the camera. I started creating. It was the era of YouTube vlogging back in 2015, 2016. So I started creating YouTube vlogs, and I really loved how someone can tell stories and express themselves through video. And then through that, I started developing my skills through my passion for YouTube videos. And some people decide to hire me for their business videos, etc. back in Greece. So I started making very little money because in Greece, videography is not a very desired profession and a well-paid profession. So I was working as part-time while I was in Greece. And then at some point I decided, you know what, I'm not going to pursue my degree. So I dropped off the last year of my college and moved to London to pursue my career here.
Fantastic. That's a very interesting story and I would say relatable because I didn't pursue my original career, which was in tech initially as well.
I think many people did. More and more stories I hear every day. It'll be very good at some point to see statistics of how many people pursue the degrees they finished at college.
Yeah, I thought that marketing is way more exciting than computer programming and took this way. Now, it's very interesting when we think video marketing. We imagine a camera crew showing up, lighting, microphones, cameras, and then some magician video editor putting it all together and we get some sort of a product. My question is, what are the things that we don't see on our screens that actually matter and make the difference when it comes to video marketing?
Yes, that's a very good question. So, video in general belongs to the media and entertainment world. You get to do a lot of funny stuff. You get to visit locations that not many people have access to. You get to meet people that many people would love to, like celebrities, etc. So everyone thinks it's a very fancy career and only has a good stuff. Now that happens on the shoot days. The funny thing is like shoot days are usually 1, 2, 3 a week maximum at the very best if you're working with top leading brands, because the most expensive part of the whole process. So usually most of our time, 99% of our time goes to pre-planning and then post the shoot, which is not fancy at all. You have to the way to plan a production is very, 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 very specific, and it's something that you need to be knowledgeable about. It's a people business. You learn something every time you go on set. Every time I go on set, I understand something new. I understand how to treat people better, what I need to prepare for more. So I think people get to see the final result. They get to see the behind the scenes during the shoot day, and they connect the two without realizing that there's a lot of work before that shoot day and a lot of work after that shoot day, which includes like even boring stuff that most people consider admin, etc. So yeah, we do those as well. We don't only hold cameras.
Yeah. So what we see and what we imagine is actually only the tip of the iceberg.
Exactly, 100%. Only the nice part that we want to show on social media.
Yeah. Okay, you mentioned planning there as a main part of your process. How do you approach strategy and the strategic planning phase for a video marketing campaign? And what are the key things that we might not be aware of, but we should?
Yes. So first of all, you mentioned a very good word there, strategy. So let me first define, because not many people know that video marketing as a term is a very new term. Most people are aware of video production. So let me mention the difference between a video production company and a video marketing agency. Usually, the standard video production company, the way to operate is an agency or a brand themselves bring you a brief, and you create an ideation of what you would like to create based on the brief. You produce it, and then you deliver the assets to your clients, and then your clients can do whatever they want with them in order of the distribution and activation. Now, when it comes to the video marketing agency, you have one step before the ideation and one step after the production. The step before the ideation, as you mentioned, is strategy, and the step after the production is activation. When it comes to the video marketing agency, we decide what assets we need to create basically in order to deliver to our client the business results are after. So often a client will come to us and be like, we want to create videos in order to find success. And that's the key thing that most people forget. You need to define what success looks like. Many agencies, because especially if they don't work with retainers, they have problems with cash flow. So they will usually be like, yeah, sure, we can help you. And you go in, and success in the agency's mind, the client's mind, is two completely different things. So before we sign off and we take any project, we need to define what success looks like. What are the business results are after? And then after that, we develop a video marketing plan, which is like what assets we want to create in order to get there in a specific timeline. That might be 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, a year, whatever. Within those assets, you have a million different things that you can know. It might be UGC, social media content. We do those as well, although we are professional because they perform great. It might be hero campaigns with a lot of media spent behind them. It might be usual luxury social media content. It all depends on what success looks like and what is the brand about. UGC content might not work great for luxury brands, although it has done in the past, and very premium videos might not work well for a brand that produces cheaper products, basically. So it really depends, as with everything in marketing, unfortunately.
So when we're talking strategy, we start with the desired outcome and the KPIs that need to be reached, and we take it from there and works towards those KPIs. So it's a more generic brief. We want to achieve this rather than create me a video for social media, for example. Right?
Yes, the thing it's because usually we always face, especially with smaller and medium-sized businesses, we face that they want to create videos out of FOMO. So they saw a video online of a competitor of theirs and they're like, guys, we want to create something similar to that because they don't want to feel like they fall behind. The thing with that is like the success of your project is already defined by playing catch up with your competitors.
Yep.
So that's if I would say it's not a strategy, but even if it is, it's not a good strategy. So you have to define your own path and what success looks like based on where your business is currently. You always will do your competitor analysis. That's part of our research and our process before we define the strategy. But you have to define your own path. If you just follow others, it usually doesn't work well.
Yes. I see pretty much the same in search engine marketing, where clients come to me and say, we want exactly what this number one competitor is doing. And my response usually is, yes, but you have a different business, you have a different setup. They started 10 years ago and they've been on this journey for a long time, and you are just want to catch up with them, and you just following them. You have not competitive edge, and you're exposed to the risk of re- verbatim repeating their mistakes, which is something that you should avoid. You might not need what they do, and it's much better to do it this way. Start with what you want to achieve, and what strategy do we employ to get to that point. I absolutely love this approach that you have there. Now, okay, when you're past that stage, when you have the plan in place, how do you approach the content idea creation process, or how do you approach that ideation process when it comes to content creation? Because you need to have something to start to begin with. Like you need some ideas. How do you approach that?
Yes. So that's a very that I think like that's one of the biggest passions of mine when it comes to the whole process. I think like many people get analysis paralysis when it comes to ideation. Um, they feel like the idea will pop up like a light bulb in your head by just giving yourself space. It's like walking around the room, talking inside your head, thinking of how, and then you believe like after a week, idea will pop up. Now, obviously, when it comes to the ideation process, especially within our agency, I cannot take credit for everything because we have a great creative team and we collaborate. And obviously, things come easier to people who collaborate than a person who is running a business by themselves. There is a difference there. Two, three, four minds work better than one on every occasion. Now, I would say when it comes to ideation and producing ideas, it's very important to consume. You cannot produce ideas without consuming content, without consuming ideas. Nothing is 100% new. Everything uses as a base something that has been created already, even if people try to tell you otherwise. They're just not conscious about it. You always use as a base something that has already been created before. So the thing and the trick is like when you consume content, you have to be in a mindset of, I use this as an idea to produce content. That when you do that switch, instead of just using it for entertainment or relaxation or something like that, when you do that switch, you are very conscious on how you consume stuff, and you pay attention on every single idea that's being said and how that can apply to your process and to your concept. The other thing I would say is like, obviously, you cannot only consume, you have to practice as well. So if you have free time and space, use that time to get in practice. Practice makes perfect all the time. So if, for example, you have a week free without any projects, yes, you can take that week off and go and relax, especially if you're close to the burnout. That's another conversation. But if you're not and you're chill, use that week to practice stuff that you have on your mind, on your notepad for a long time. And that way, you always keep that skill of content generation, of ideation, keep going on. It's a skill at the end of the day. It's not something we are born with. It's a skill that we need to practice constantly.
I absolutely love this. So don't get stuck in analysis paralysis. Consume content and practice the three steps that you have there that I
Yes.
noted.
I have been there before. It's not a nice place to be. It's not.
I,
It took me
compl-
time.
I completely agree. I do something very similar when I'm approaching, say, podcast recordings. I do quite a bit of research, consume content on the subject, brainstorm ideas. So I spend time to actually come up with the ideas about the content that's being created. I love this approach to that you have. Uh, Now, when we're talking about video marketing and specifically for brands, the way people consume video content has changed massively. over the last decade. Things technology evolved. How brands need to evolve their campaigns to stay relevant?
Good question. So I would say this, especially after 2021, 2022, with COVID rules were got lifted off. I think like everyone understood the power of video, of digital mediums in general, just video, because we also had the explosion of TikTok throughout the pandemic and in general of content consumption. Now, when it comes to what brands can do, like let's say for example in 2024, especially with their campaigns, is get even further. We have done a very good job already, but get even further from trying to sell to people. Don't try to sell directly by saying buying my product is amazing. People, I know this has been repeated many times, but it's only because it's so true. People hate to be sold out and they love to buy. So try to make people feel like if they buy from you, it's their choice. Nobody sold them anything. So in order to do that, storytelling is a way to go forward. Again, another word that has been used massively this year, but it's only because it's true. If you think about it, every brand has a specific audience that they want to talk to. The best way to talk to that audience without allowing your message to go to other audience that are not relevant, because at the end of the day, that's media budget. If, for example, your ads end up being watched by people who are not within your target audience, you just spend money for no reason. So the only way to do that is by telling stories that are dedicated to that audience. And then that audience, because of those stories, they will resonate with you. And then when they need to buy, honestly, who do you believe they're going to spend their money to? They're going to spend the money to the people who, the brand basically, and the people behind the brand, who made them feel, who felt connected with. Again, it's a very simple thing to say. It's not a simple thing to do. There are always temptations. For example, especially with businesses, you need to chase numbers, you need to chase revenues, etc. So there is always that thing of selling more. But especially if you try to build a long-lasting brand and you want to be known and stand for something, you need to think long-term and you need to tell the right stories in order to get your audience follow you on that journey and be with you, instead of just coming in, buying something, leaving, coming in, buying something, leaving every once in a while, whenever someone else and the competition is lacking as well. So yes, storytelling is for sure the way forward.
Love this. Yes, people hate being sold to, but people love buying. Storytelling keeps coming up every time similar question is discussed here, and looks like the best solution, so often overlooked. Can you share any emerging trends that businesses and marketers should be aware of?
Yes. So first of all, the trends I will talk about refer solely to video marketing. I don't know if you've been about other stuff, but that's what I want to talk about today. So 2023 was the year of AI. If we want to
Yep.
talk about it, it was a year of AI. Mainly, it was a year of people admiring and being scared of what AI is capable of. We still haven't managed. Some people have, and they have made a lot of money because of it, or they have gained a lot of time because of it. But most businesses are still sitting on the side and looking how AI helps the people who are brave enough to take the risk and try it. Now, 2024, I feel like AI will be much more established, even on the content creation side, especially on the content creation side. Content marketing is such a trending thing. Everyone talks about it, especially on the internet, mainly because of the people who are running it are content creators themselves. Social media is being run by content creators. So it's their platform, basically. It's their game. You'll hear them talking about all the time. They have an advantage. When it comes to AI and content creation, you need to produce more content than you did the last year. And then the next year, you will need to produce even more content than you did the previous year because of the short attention span that people have. So how do you do that when you have a limited amount of time, a limited amount of money, a limited amount of stuff within your business? You need to leverage the technology. The technology is there, and people need to stop being afraid of using it. There is nothing wrong with AI. It's better to have the right people behind it than being used only for people who, I don't know, they don't really know how to use it, and it's very obvious. We always see those AI comments online. And for people who think like, okay, cool, I can just stop being thoughtful, stop thinking about my content, not caring, I'll just drop everything in a program, whatever it produces, it goes online, that's fine, I'm rich within 6 months. It doesn't work like that, fortunately or unfortunately. So what will happen in 2024, especially in video marketing, AI will be a bigger part of all of our process. As I mentioned before, strategy, ideation, production, activation, we use it more in some parts rather than others, but I feel like in 2024, we will start using across everything. And I can
How,
mention some tools later on as well.
yeah. How do you use it in your processes at the moment, at this stage?
So at the moment, we are using quite a lot for, first of all, when it comes to the strategy phase, we use it quite a lot for research. So AI is very helpful in order to go through articles, go through search pages in order to find out information about competitors, about industry news, about specific subjects. For example, usually, especially with us, when a brand comes to us, before we work with them, we take about a month of research in order to put a plan together that we present back to them. During that process, while we build a strategy, research is the main thing that we do, and AI helps us a lot to have like
One
a
month
big.
of research,
Yes. Oh,
and
I would say it's not 1 month of research only. It's 1 month of research plus putting together a strategy plan for going forward of what we want to create. So it's more about the whole strategy phase in itself before clients' feedback. So what I would say is, like, as I said before, for example, ourselves at Storyflow, we're a small team of 4. If we have 3, 4, 5, 10 projects, we don't have enough time to go through the research ourselves. It's not and even if we had time to read everything, we don't have enough time to process everything. So we use the technology in order to be able to get the best outcomes out of what's happening, learn about our clients and their industry in the best way, and use that, leverage that in order to put a plan together. That's on the strategy phase. On the ideation phase, again, it helps a lot with research of keeping up with new campaigns that are coming out, competitors of ours as well. There are many video agents, there are many creative agents, content marketing agencies, but also coming up with fresh concepts. Like, I know, especially like, for example, someone can use ChatGPT to
yeah,
produce a concept. It might be bad, the concept in itself. That's fine. As I said before, when we talk about content creation, you need consumption. You will take that idea, and because you are the expert, you will shape it into something relevant. The more ideas you have, the more your brain starts working towards putting together something. When you give a blank canvas, many people are great with it, but to be honest with you, most people are just panicking and they're like, I don't know what to do. So
yeah.
start filling that canvas with ideas, and then you will start shaping them in the way you want. Production process, it helps a lot with admin stuff. It helps a lot with storyboards, schedules, budgeting, etc. It doesn't help a lot with generative AI because the level is not there yet. But again, because we talked about trends before, I feel like 2024 things might change on that because of how fast the whole technology evolves. And then on the post-production process, again, it helps us quite a lot with automation. That might be voiceovers, might be animations, it might be subtitles, it might be visual effects, a lot of things going on there. On the last part, activation, again, it helps a lot with the same thing that we did before, research and A/B testing of how to put stuff out there. And then gathering all the reports from the analytics we have and try to summarize them in quick ways in order to be able to be fast with them, optimize fast, move fast, especially with product brands. the environment changes quite quickly. So yeah, we always need to be on top of that.
Seems like you have taken this to a whole different level, the use of AI in production.
We try the best.
Yeah. One question, when you said research and you work with multiple clients, and it's hard to have expertise in every field. And that's where, in my experience, something like ChatGPT comes very handy. Because if you want to get the benefits of a product or a service that a client offers, it takes you just a query to get to those. How much time does it save you in that process? You mentioned 1 month of research time. How much have you shortened that process using AI tools?
Yes, so I would say it allows us to work. For example, because we also talk about agencies, there are some agencies that missing down on specific sectors. When we create Storyflow, we decide to not do that. We decide that we want to niche down on the medium. So, for example, ourselves, we're a video agency for all sectors, but we are a video agency. We don't create photos, we don't create designs. We decide to niche down on the medium. Why is that? Because we believe like that fresh ideas you can bring from different sectors to other sectors creates like usually the best concepts and gives the most value to our clients. Otherwise, you keep repeating yourself over and over again, and you lose that creative edge. Now, in that way, though, our disadvantage compared to agents who niche down to sectors is that we haven't worked as much as them on the specific sector. So, from experience, from trial and error, we haven't learned as much stuff as they did. So that's where the research of ChatGPT or other tools as well, there more specific and expensive tools when it comes to agents, when it comes to research. But that's where it helps us catch up with those agencies because we don't know as much as they do for the specific industry itself. When it comes to shorten the time, I would say usually we decide to not shorten the time of 1 month. It just allows us to go much deeper than we would be able to do otherwise. We use sometimes it also like helps us obviously to cut down the process. We have cut down to 10 days. That's like the minimum I have found out so far, but that's only when the brand needs and wants something. They have a tight deadline. They have the tight marketing plan. They want something produced fast. So that's when we speed up things. But usually the month we take it ourselves and we use AI in order to be able to go deeper rather than go shorter with our timelines.
Okay, so you can choose deliver more high quality, go for quality, or shorten the time that you would use otherwise. What are the
Because sorry, Mark,
yeah,
to interrupt you there. Because it's also important to consider the human factor. So no matter how fast I want to go, there is still a human behind the whole thing processing the information. So sometimes you need to leave the information relax a bit before you're able to come with the outcomes. So
you
yes,
need
we might be able to produce in a week, but then you always need to think about it, and that's when things start being blurry. So the month itself allows you to,
I know
brief the whole
exactly
thing.
what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. That's how creativity works. Like you need to digest all the ideas before you're actually able to come up with something bright that would be a great success. If you just go for the chat GPT suggestions, for example, like
Exactly.
it might be boring. It might not be what the client needs or what you want to deliver. You mentioned generative AI, and what are the applications right now and in the near future of generative AI? Do you see it stealing your job?
Oh no, I see it giving me more job than ever. To be honest with you. So again, when it comes to generative AI, I feel like people who know what they do, I don't understand how they are not excited about it. It's something like that will help us get the whole production and the whole video side of things on a different level. Yes, it has some Basically, what it does, it destroys gatekeeping, and that's my favorite thing in our industry when it comes to like deleting, like, because I don't come from a background, I don't come from a media degree. It was hard for me to get in the industry. I faced a lot of challenges. I wasn't born in UK, so again, coming from a different country, you have a lot of things where generative AI, it kind of broadens the whole industry and allows everyone, if they have a passion about it, if they want to tell stories, if they want to leverage video to help businesses, to come in and use it and be good at it. So for me, it's super exciting. Now, how it will work and how it will help us. There are some applications that most people know, or at least they have heard somewhere. Runway ML is the main thing when it comes to generative AI. Is the industry standard at the moment. Not many people still use it. And then is the Pika Labs or Pika Art, I feel, which is something that was announced a few days ago and caught the industry by storm because it looks really, really, really good. Now, the problem with generative AI is that it doesn't look great at the moment. So it has good applications for personal use and for fun projects, but not a lot of application for brand work. Not many brands are going to use it because at the end of the day, like we have to understand that brands, whenever they put videos and content out, that content represents them. Like in my freelance career, I have been part of campaigns that cost sometimes 500,000 and they never got out. They never got released. It was money wasted because when a brand saw the final result, something very small that me and you might not have paid attention to didn't align with their brand guidelines. So they were like, guys, if we cannot fix this, we are not putting it out. So the whole project got screwed. Everyone got paid, everyone got their money. The brand lost their money, but the project didn't see the light of the day. And that's because brands are very, 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 very careful with their image. As I said before, like with storytelling, if you want to build a long-lasting brand, you have to be careful of what stories you put out. The good brands do that, and because they do that, they're very careful of their image. So, when it comes to generative AI, what we use at the moment, we might use it for visual effects sometimes, just to give something very fresh, because it's generative AI. No one has seen it before. Or we might use it for elements that don't include humans, because generative AI is not great with human faces. There is also
Fingers.
like, yeah, there is also like the whole legal side of it, how ethical it is to produce human faces and try to include them in a commercial project. I'm not going to get into that because that's a very long discussion and very, yeah, opinionated. But yes, usually when it comes to backgrounds, clean plates for VFX, visual effects, and stuff like that, that's what we use it for. But not a lot, to be honest with you. We have used like once or twice in our projects.
Yesterday, just yesterday, I listened to a company pitch, and they were talking about generative AI and how much generative AI is used to create art and will be used to create art. And the question was something along the lines: do they feel threatened by generative AI because they work in the art space? And they said that it's actually good for the business because people value authenticity, and when the marketplace is saturated with artificially produced images or art, people would value genuine art even more than the one that's out there because it's actually created by humans and it's unique and authentic, which we can't really say about anything created by AI right now. Uh,
To a certain extent, I agree. To a certain
to
extent,
a certain extent.
yeah.
So there's this possibility that AI would be able to do the things that you do in the near future or in the future, including
uh,
the planning and the strategy and all those things, because they're framework based after all, or they could be framework based.
yes, I think like they could do it. Um, I think like again, someone would hire me to overview how
Mm,
they do it, or being able to show AI how to do it, if that makes sense. Um, like people at the end of the day, like even if you have, for example, even if you use a B2B, a SaaS platform, like a tool for your business, for your CRM or something like that, the tool itself works amazing. We can do like stuff there without bothering ever anyone behind it. But if you have a problem, you will reach out to the chatbot to talk to a moderator behind it in order to express your problems and let them solve you. If there wasn't that person behind, if you knew that there was no person behind, it was run by itself, would you trust it? Would you put your money on it? It's not about if it works great, it's about when you have a problem, who do you trust more of helping you solve that problem? Usually you trust another human being. It might change in the future, we don't know, but it cannot change like that because we are so used to that kind of experience, that kind of customer service. So people will always hire other people in order to do the stuff that they don't want to deal with. It doesn't matter if they use AI, it doesn't matter if they do it on the traditional way. As long as they do it well, they produce results for the money that people spend, and they are happy with the customer service, they will keep giving that job to someone else. Now, that's from the client side. What you as an individual or as an agency owner or as a freelancer should do is you should not stop learning. Like you have to keep learning. Don't try to learn what AI is learning at the moment because AI is learning faster than you. Trying to learn how to manage AI and how to leverage AI in order to take value from what it learns itself. So it's a different approach. I think like AI, I was very young when the internet came out, but and became like a global thing. But I think like it's the first revolution we have of that kind of size since the internet. In the middle, we had the mobile phones, but I don't think it was that much. When it comes to life changing, it was more about consumption. So I think like people need to see it like that. Need to see like, yes, it's revolutionary, it's life changing. So we need to adapt quickly. We need to adapt strongly. We cannot be like dipping our feet on the water and try to be like, okay, cool, how it looks like. It will be risky, it will be fearful, um, but or scary, but yes, we need to do it if we want to stay ahead.
completely agree with you on these points. Recent experience that I had with a bank transaction, I was I tried to call the bank, and I was put through to a chatbot speaking to me and asking me about the problem. It couldn't really get what I'm saying and what my problem is, and I had to ask for a human to solve my problem. Just get rid of the chatbot and get someone on the line that can actually solve the problem. I had to wait for an hour, but still I did that because I wanted my problem solved. I didn't want to chat to a chatbot.
You and
Um,
many others, myself included. I had a problem with my bank last week as well. I don't have to
I don't know why the banks decided to do that. They're like bank crisis or something. They're trying to save money, or they can afford it actually. Uh, that's all very interesting. Can you share some examples of a successful video marketing campaign that you worked on and particularly strong in storytelling,
Yes. So now it's interesting because you mentioned I worked on. I would
or
say
or an,
I don't.
an example?
Yes, I don't know. I don't know when this podcast is coming out, everyone. But I would say for a holiday ad, I just saw today this morning. What's the new holiday film from Chevrolet? It's the car brand basically. If you everyone, I don't remember the name of it exactly, but if you go and type Chevrolet 2023 holiday film and you watch that, is a 5 minute film. And I will talk to you also about the long form. Like everyone thinks that brands need to be short form, 15-second videos, grab attention, say what you want to say, get out. This year we have seen, I might be wrong, but I feel like we have seen the most long form campaigns than any other time in the past 10 years. Like Apple especially does so much. They produce a 5 minute film. They have two coming out every month. So I feel like, as you said before, with the AI and the artist, which is like AI is producing so much generic content, so people will start craving art. I think like we are reaching again that changing phase where people consumed a lot of short form, attention grabbing, very fast videos that they really, really love when it's being done the right way to hear a very good story, a slow paced story. So if you go and watch that film, you will see like the brand, they saw their car in the film. Yes, of course, they saw their logo. They say nothing about it. It's a holiday film. It's about the story. They don't try to sell anything. They don't try to productize it. It's just about the story. And I feel like that's the most beautiful thing when brands do it, and that's when they gain the love of their customers. Now, when it comes to myself, the one campaign that I have worked on and I will always remember because of the fun I had on the shoot and how successful it was. It's called Love. I Love Mondays. It's by Reed. Reed is a recruitment platform when it comes
Yep.
to the UK. I'm not sure if they're global, but I'm sure they're big in the UK. And it was one campaign that kind of um, simulate one of the scenes of West Side Story, and it was beautiful. Like we had like 50 dancers, very well choreographed. I love choreography. I love dancing. I love good music on a campaign. I think like you can never go wrong as long as you do it the right way. Um, and yeah, it's something like that. I still walk on the underground. Like it has been over a year and a half later. Usually campaigns don't last that long, and I still see like the out of home advertising. And every time I see it, I have a smile on my face. So yeah, I really love that.
Fantastic. Can AI write a good story? In my experience, I haven't been able to, at least the AI that I use, to come up with a story, something compelling. In your experience,
Um, the short answer is yes. The long answer is like, again, sorry about that, everyone. I don't remember names, but there is a famous YouTube video I watched a couple of months ago, something like that, of a guy who built a book publication brand only with AI videos. And he had a lot of storytelling videos, and he built like an 1 million business in like the guy is 20 years old and he built in 1 year. And basically, the way he did it is like he used frameworks of how you write books and how you tell stories to prompt the AI in order to produce masses of videos. And then he was selling them online on Pinterest. I don't know, $5, $10 each, something like that. And people were buying them. And not only people were buying them, but they were recommending them quite a lot. Now, what I would say with stories and when it comes to people liking something, people oftenly talk with where they put their money. So if they buy stories that have been produced by AI, that means that you can like stories being produced by AI. And if you can like them once, I cannot see why that cannot be repeated. Now, will we reach a point where AI can produce a good story by someone typing the most simple prompt where it says, write me a story about a guy and a dog living in a farm, whatever? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so because that's so generic when it comes to um, the type of story you want to tell. So you have to give good frameworks, you have to give good prompts in order for AI to come up with something extraordinary. That's how it works. That's why so many people make money online by selling prompts through their courses, their documents, etc. It works. It really works.
Great. Probably I need to buy some prompts then. Some.
I have bought some in the past, to be honest with you. It really worked. I really liked it. Yeah.
I need to look into that because never crossed my mind to actually buy such a thing. In my view, it's supposed to help you and be intuitive. And I guess in the near future there will be some shortcut that would be implemented so that AI could actually understand our intention better and what what's the desired outcome that we want, as opposed to we focusing on creating very sophisticated prompts. I don't know, just a speculation here, but that's my understanding. It needs to simplify things, not to make them more complex in the end.
Yes. So on this one, I would just say like there are always two perspectives: the time that you spend for yourself and the time that you spend compared to others. Like
Mm.
AI will help us reduce a lot the time we spend ourselves, because for me, for example, to write a good story, I would have to write the framework or try to repeat them in a way and then phrase the story as well, where now I have only to write the framework and give some variables to AI and it will produce the story itself and then obviously revise it. But there is also the comparison of me compared to some other person. There is always going to be the thing of, for me to do better than another person who tries to write the same story, I have to put more thought, I have to put better skills who come with experience and practice than them. So when it comes, it will save time a lot individually. When it comes to comparison, there is always going to be that advantage.
All right. Right, good. Can you talk about distribution and activation? Any tips that you have for brands, businesses?
Yes. So first of all, obviously, it depends on the size of your business you run. It's different if you are a freelancer. It's different if you are a solo founder, maybe with a co-founder, and it's different if you have a marketing team overviewing it. Obviously, the difference between all of those is how skillful is the person who is sitting behind overviewing, monitoring, and optimizing those campaigns. Um, when it comes to distribution, I would say like people need to decide first of all. The most simple is the media channels they want to put out videos on. There is that crazy thing that everyone feels they should be everywhere. You don't. I am. When it comes to my personal brand, I'm solely on LinkedIn. I'm trying to get more into X, but I'm solely on LinkedIn at the moment, and I get about 60 to 65% of my business from LinkedIn. And I don't see LinkedIn going anywhere tomorrow. So now that I have used 18 months to be on LinkedIn, I will grow on another platform because I have established my processes. Now, when it comes to distribution, first of all, for content itself, and then we can talk about paid, repurposing is a very important thing. If you have never heard of repurpose.io, I would tell you to go and check the platform. It's a platform that helps you repurpose very easily content across different platforms. Um, and that's when we start talking about AI tools of how they can use you on editing and cutting out new pieces from the same type of content. Um, Now, when it comes to seeing what works, you have to constantly optimize. You have to use analytics. Many platforms have analytics themselves, like X, YouTube, Google Analytics, Meta Analytics, etc. Keep track on those, see what performs, see what doesn't, and try to understand why what performs did perform well and repeat that. Repeat. Don't repeat the same exact type of content. Many people feel like that. They feel like something performed well. Okay, cool. I will create the same piece with different variables. It's not about that. It's about understanding very well why it worked. When you find the why, then you're able to um, apply. Sometimes I use words that don't exist. apply those that why to any other piece of content you want to create. Now, I would say there are many platforms online, especially when it comes to video. There are platforms like Wistia and like Vidyard. It's video hosting platforms that give you a lot of analytics. They give you, for example, heat maps. So let's say that I start watching a video and I stop in 10 seconds. They will tell you that. They will tell you when videos were stopped. Or they will tell you where people are scrolling through the video if they do, like moving their mouse. Their pointer, sorry. So there are different platforms. Now, when it comes to campaigns, I think like is the most standard thing, but is the most effective as well for us at least. It's A/B testing. Don't upload one creative asset and see how it performs. Upload multiple creative assets, update them regularly. I would say every 2 weeks to a month, I would update the creative assets that you upload on the ads, and try to see through that what performs again and what doesn't. I know what I said here is very generic at certain points, but to be honest with you, it's a bit tricky to go much deeper without a specific occasion and
Yes,
without a specific business, because it varies, mainly depending on the size, but certainly depending on who your target audience is and who you try to talk to.
yes, absolutely. It's actually really valuable what you shared here. So we need to be consistent, use analytics, iterate through the successful pieces, content pieces. Video heat maps is something that I haven't heard before about. Probably I need to check this out. A/B testing is also a good idea. Generally speaking, any good video heat maps, SaaS or other software that could be used?
Yeah,
Mm,
yes, as I said, like Wistia is
list.
Wistia, and Vidyard are the two main ones. Like the two that it would worth for someone to pay to see what they do, because they also have a lot of other things. It's not only heat maps. Now, heat maps is something very fancy and something that has a lot of applications, especially to bigger businesses. To smaller businesses, I would say it's something nice to have and not something that you need. It's not the foundations, but certainly it's something that has been around actually for a long time, but not many people hear of,
Mm.
because it doesn't apply to smaller, medium kind size of businesses.
You mentioned repurpose IO. Is this, I assume it's a video repurposing software, video content repurposing, or
Yes, I have repurposed
yeah,
solely video through it.
yeah,
I'm not sure if it's only video, but
yeah.
I have used only
That's
for video
primarily
purposes.
use that you have for that.
Yeah.
My question is, when we are talking repurposing, and you mentioned that you've been really consistent and focused on LinkedIn, is it better to focus on one platform in your view, or just repurpose the content and throw it out there on every platform that you can think of? What do you think would be the best approach?
Okay. First, I will start with saying the most annoying phrase in marketing. It depends.
Yeah.
This It depends on the resources you have. So, for example, I don't have enough time because of running a business at the same time, create for many different platforms. So I create solely for LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn, I try to post as much videos as possible because that's what I want to be known for. That's what my profession is. So I want to post more videos. Um, but the platform in itself has a lot of copy when it comes to it. Text posts, carousels, uh, posts with images, you have to write a lot of copy. Now that copy, yes, doesn't necessarily translate to other platforms. Instagram, it's not really a platform where my audience is that much. Yes, there are, but they are not there to buy, if that makes sense. Where LinkedIn is primarily a business platform. TikTok is a platform which I really support and love, but I haven't been on it that much because of how consistent you need to be on it, and you need to produce videos for it. So I don't produce that many videos of myself. And so for me, the rational choice to make, because of where my target audience is, was X or Twitter, however someone wants to call it. So now that I'm happy with my LinkedIn, I'm happy with my process of how I produce and schedule content, I decided to move to X. Before that, I didn't do it only because I didn't feel like I figured out LinkedIn in my way. So spreading too thin and going into other platforms would leave me even with less time, even with less mind space to spend on LinkedIn and try to figure it out. And I prefer to have a bigger following, bigger impact on one platform rather than having a much smaller impact on 5 platforms. Because at the end of the day, you need to stand out. And by putting more effort into one platform, it allows you to stand out at least on that one platform. And then you can drive that audience and that engagement that you have on that platform in other platforms as well, because people are not usually users on from one platform. But if I wasn't doing that way and I was in many platforms, I don't think I would be as well known as I am on this one platform, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. In essence, the 80-20 rule applies here as well. Most of the
It does
effort
in
should be
everything.
focused on
Yeah,
what works for you and experiment with other
100%.
things on the side. Fantastic. Any tips for individuals who want to improve the quality of their video content?
Yes. So I think like I've said like that I have answered that the most times, especially recently. So I have a very clear path of what someone can do in order to make it easy. Um, First of all, we need to define quality. Many people believe that quality is a visual output and how crispy your image looks. It's not. Quality means how much value you have for your video and how sustainably you retain that value throughout your video. Um, so first of all, if your video is 1 minute long, and of that 1 minute you have 15 seconds of value, 50 seconds of, eh, 50 seconds of value, and 50 seconds of, cut it down in 30 seconds. Use only the most valuable part. Don't leave anything in there that you're like, it's okay. People will keep watching, because they won't. They will drop out. If you don't like the content you produce, other people won't as well. So what I would say that someone can do is, for example, at this moment, we are using Riverside as our platform to record that podcast. Riverside is an amazing platform in order to allow you to record things, mainly because compared to something like Zoom, if something happens to your content, you don't lose it. It's being uploaded the same time that we talk. So what I would tell you can do, especially if you feel uncomfortable in front of camera, you don't need to use a camera. Ask one of your ideal customers. If you cannot find any, if you don't feel comfortable of asking someone, that's fine. You can ask your wife, your husband, your not your kids, your friends, your colleagues, etc. But let's say on the ideal scenario, if you have an ideal customer that, for example, you have got in touch with in the past, and they're like, I'm not sure I can afford that right now. I'm not sure I have the budget at the moment. Let's catch up later. Reach out to that client and be like, look, it is okay with you if we jump on a 60-minute call where I will answer every single question you have. Everything. It's going to be a consulting call. It's totally for free. The only thing I ask you for, if you're kind enough, can I record it? Is that okay with you? Because I want to use it for my content. I don't need to record your camera. I just want to record my camera and answer your questions and gather value from it. You can record that thing, answer all their questions. Try to tell them to be a bit more generic with their questions. So they might want to go very deep into their company. Try to zoom out a bit, because otherwise your answers are going to be very specific to their company and will not apply to your target audience. So take that recording, go into something like Opus Clip, or go to a freelancer on Upwork. You can find amazing people there for $30, $40, $50. Please, if you have something more, pay something more. That's another thing. Only because someone is working from Thailand or Philippines, it doesn't mean that they don't deserve to get paid well, as long as they produce amazing work. So If you don't have that budget, go to something like opus.clip, put your long video there, and let it come up with 15 short videos. It produces captions, it produces the whole cut for vertical. That's fine. You take those videos and you have plenty of content if you post once per week, twice per week for 2-3 months. The only thing you need to do every time, jump on a consulting call with the client. And what that allows you to do, apart from producing content, first of all, you make a better relationship. The person that you are speaking with is much more likely to buy from you because you show them what kind of value to deliver to them. Second of all, you can ask them for social proof, even if they are not ready to buy. Because if you feel like they're ready to buy, don't do that, because you can do it later and you can get a much deeper case study. But if they are not, you can ask them for a social proof for that 1 hour. For example, on LinkedIn, you can ask for a LinkedIn recommendation, and boom, you have one more testimonial, another piece of content, another addition to your social proof when you try to sell. And the last thing I would say is you understand your audience better. The biggest mistake I feel people make on a B2B side, they always assume what their target audience wants without ever jumping on a call with them and try to understand and hear from them what they actually want. I assume that this type of company wants video, when in fact, wants, for example, a website video, when in fact I jump on a call with them and they tell me, we want social media videos. So get rid of those assumptions, talk directly to your audience and gather data. And within that hour, you have gained so many things, that is a no-brainer basically.
I absolutely love this. So much value in this 1 hour. Thank you so much, John. Thanks for sharing all this insider information from the kitchen of video marketing. That was
Thank you, man.
really, really valuable. I have to watch it a few times to extract all the information that I could possibly get out of uh, of this. Where people can find you, follow you, and find your company Storyflow. What's the
Yes.
best way to
So
connect?
first of all, I want you to say to you, thank you so much. You're an amazing host. You give the
Thank
people
you.
the space to talk, and I look forward to your next episodes as well. And whoever is watching this, please listen to the previous episodes because I have listened some of them and they are great. So, what I would say is, people can find me on LinkedIn. That's where I am all the time. I post 7 days a week, so you will find me there on a daily
Talking about
basis.
consistency.
Yes, it in my name, obviously, John Mouratis. When it comes to my company, you will find us. It's Storyflow Entertainment, because Storyflow in itself is a very, 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 very expensive domain. You can find us at www.storyflowe with an e at the end for entertainment.com. Um, Again, we are building a new website. Hopefully, it's out by the time the episode is out. So if it's not, please judge us lightly. Um, that's what I would say. And then on X, but not yet. I still need to build my content there. So LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. I'll make sure to link everything in the description. Thanks again. Have a fantastic day and a very productive week ahead. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you, Martin. You too.
Thank you.